Hi there and welcome to Lorena's Labyrinth. My name's Anna Pirelli. The comments that you see here are my views, beliefs, opinions, and sometimes they are not even my fully formed views, beliefs, and opinions. However, they are my understandings. Please do retain an open mind and reflect on any of the content and your comfort levels. If your views differ, please feel free to leave a comment. Also remember, it is possible to disagree in respectful ways. My way is not necessarily your way and vice versa. You might also find that some of the content on this playlist in regard to spiritual or universal laws, it resonates with you, meaning it feels right to you, while other laws may not feel right or they may not feel comfortable. If this is the case, the information is either not right for you or it is not right for you right now, and it might never be right for you at any given time. It really doesn't matter. As an earthy and practical person, I can put my hand up with all honesty and say that I have at different times had the same feelings about some of the content in here, and with some of them I still have a level of skepticism within my viewpoints, but I choose to retain an open mind about the things that I don't fully understand for a few reasons. Firstly, because I believe it would be supreme arrogance to think that we all know all of the answers while we have a body, and because what is right for one of us is not necessarily right or suitable for all of us, and I choose to respect the differences. Please do leave your opinions, beliefs. Feel free to argue the points in a respectful way with any of the content on the slides and even my interpretations. And if you feel that you can add clarity around some of the content, we would all love to see it. Thank you. For now, though, let's explore the laws.
All creation is governed by law. The principles that operate in the outer universe, discoverable by scientists, are called natural laws. But there are subtler laws that rule the hidden spiritual planes and the inner realm of consciousness. Contained within these laws, or conditions, is the true nature of matter. Knowledge of these laws has an effect upon the mental urges. Mind is the builder. Stay in full mindfulness of the application of universal law as related to self and to others, and know that in love all life is given, in love all things move. In giving one attains, in giving one acquires, in giving, love becomes the fulfillment of desire, guided and directed in the ways that bring the more perfect knowledge of self as related to the universal, all-powerful, all-guiding, all divine influence in life. Love is life. When we go back, merge with the God source, in some infinitesimal but profound way, we expand the mind of God. Our higher self always points the best and most perfect way, and it is ours to listen and choose or reject what we hear. It does not blame, but patiently tries again to show the perfect way, the loving way. All of creation pushes forth. We are ever becoming. Identity ever remains. Universal law number 2. The law of action. No matter what we feel or know, no matter what our potential gifts or talents, only action brings them to light. Those of us who think we understand concepts such as commitment, courage, and love, one day discover that we only create knowingness when we act. The act of doing becomes understanding and knowledge. Every aspirant is a focal point of energy and should be a conscious focal point. In the midst of the whirl and storm, of the chaos of third dimension, he or she should make his or her presence felt.
So from my perspective in regard to the law of action, it's a very true statement in that unless the thoughts, feelings are associated with an action, unless we do something with these thoughts and ideas and even our feelings, then they remain untapped, and this will include our talents. And I'd take it a step further that we may have gifts, but unless we use them, then we will potentially lose them. And you will know this with yourself, that if you've just in the simplest of forms, if you're a gifted artist that's normally been able to draw really well, and then you haven't picked up a pencil or a paintbrush in a few decades and you go back to it, it becomes rusty. Well, this is, I believe, the same with all gifts, right? So then there's the other point to this law is that, and it's to do with the knowledge aspect, right? Quite often we will think we know something, but we only think we know it. It doesn't mean we really know, because true knowledge you only get from an experiential level when your heart or your gut knows it to be true because you've seen it, believed it, felt it, right? This is the difference between thinking and knowing. I'll just a sec. So I had to consider that for a moment on how to convey it. Okay, so I guess the thing is that this becomes that little point between scientific and anecdotal knowledge, where the scientists actually have to find out, I guess, for themselves and know something to be true. But the way they find the truth is by doing the study and research of other people's experiences and not necessarily their own, because anecdotal information is that information that you have because you felt it. Oh God, I'm repeating myself. I'm trying to think of okay, so the point being with this particular law, we're going to be talking about the law of analogy very soon, and why it's very difficult to define and describe what is basically undescribable. And this is what I'm struggling with, is to try and convey to you my understandings in words and language that we will all understand clearly. And I can tell you right now, it's a bit of a struggle, but I shall kick on. Okay, examples are a good way for me to try and describe the difference between thinking we know and actually knowing. So certainly from a personal experience level. All right. Okay, so many years ago, I knew a guy, and he thought he knew all about the mastitis that was involved as a breastfeeding mother. Now, he won't be a lone person with this. There'll be lots of doctors out there that have treated women lactating, I think is the correct word, with their children who end up with mastitis. Now, if you haven't had it, it's an extremely painful condition, I just want to say. But anyway, so the doctor hasn't got personal experience or knowledge around mastitis himself or herself. Necessarily she might have, but he definitely won't. So let's say it's a male doctor in this scenario. So the doctor has somebody present with mastitis. He knows, because he's seen enough people presenting with these symptoms, and he knows how to treat the condition, give them some antibiotics, whatever, tell them to go put cabbage leaves down their brows, whatever, go and have a shower. He will give them advice and information on what to do with the condition because he knows all about it, but not from personal experience. So he's got a pool of knowledge, if you like, he can draw from. The person that's got mastitis actually knows herself. She's going to know exactly what it feels like. She might not know how to treat it, which is why she goes to the doctor, but your average guy, or bloke as we say here in Australia, he is not going to have any idea what mastitis actually feels like, and he's not going to have any idea how to treat it, right? So point being, many years ago, I had a guy turning around and trying to explain to me, I'm not sure if he was trying to impress me with his supposed empathy or whatever, about how this mastitis condition is just absolutely dreadful for women, and he was being very forceful in his opinions that I could not possibly understand or know what mastitis was like, even though I was interrupting him to say, yes, I do, I've had it. You don't need to tell me what it feels like, even though you've never had it. I can tell you what it feels like. So within that regard, as he thinks he knows what it feels like, and he's got a pretty good idea because he observed it, but he doesn't really know. He doesn't have the same depth of knowledge as I have about mastitis because I've had it, and I can tell you it's horrendous. Anyway, that's an example. Let me think of something else that I might add here. I think it's just making the point that, also we can have a dream. Everybody can have a dream, but unless we actively pursue the dream and bring it through to fruition, then it remains a dream. And so it is through actions, through doing, through physical effort, that we create knowledge that we can share with other people. So even the doctor doing his study. So this particular point, I probably should have put more energy into this one, but I've got to be honest, I would actually rather hear your viewpoints around this one. So my understanding is when we talk about an aspirant, we're talking about a person that is seeking to achieve a goal, okay? So if every aspirant is the focal point of energy, if this is what they're saying, and should be a conscious focal point, it really is a case of unpacking what this means. So I've kind of revisited my rationale around this point, and it does help to break things down into small bite-sized bits. So the law of action says basically that the person, that's the goal achiever, should be a conscious focal point. Well, I believe that this means that they need to be aware of and responsive to their surroundings as they walk the path to the goal or their chosen goal, right? And that each person, he, she, or however they identify, should ensure that their presence is felt despite any chaos around them. Now, I do interpret this part as saying make your voice heard, not disrupt everyone and attempt to make them feel uncomfortable, not with this woke agenda of forcing your viewpoints onto other, you all need to do X and Y, but rather to develop a mindset and respectfully use your voice with love, kindness and deed, and to be a role model and to be authentic with who they are. Now, because I've done my social work, I understand that the voice, we have to be able to use our voice, and this is why freedom of speech is important, because unless we can actually use our voice and identify injustice, then cruelty continues for people that can't speak for themselves, and it's usually the most oppressed people that are unable to voice their experiences because they just get shut down. Nobody wants to hear what they've got to say. So once again, of course, these are my interpretations of applying this. So what I would say from my humanitarian conscious and the social work background is everything is about respect. Everybody's got rights, everybody's got responsibilities, and when we want to make a change, then we do actually make our presence felt. How we make people feel is down to our choices. We can either make them feel dreadful or attempt to power over the top of them, or we can attempt to empower them and extend a helping hand and help them raise up in the spirit of brother and sisterhood. That doesn't mean making them be like us. They don't have to do everything our way. They've got their own path. They've got free will. Anyway, I'm going to stop round about there and let you guys tell me what you think and what you feel in regard to this point, because I'm really interested more so in what you've got to say. But anyway, please do leave a comment. I'll respond to them in the yarning sessions probably. I'll check them out, see if there's any comments, and then include them in the yarnings that I load on the Sunday. All right, take care, be blessed. Speak to you soon. Bye.